Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, let us pray first. Heavenly Father, we come to you today in prayer, asking for your guidance and wisdom as we begin this online class. Help us to stay focused and attentive as we learn and grow together. Give us the strength to stay motivated and the courage to ask questions when needed. Amen. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself first. I am identified as Geraldine Carlo. I am the reporter, and of course, I have with me my group mates. So, may I state their name first? So, we have here Miss Felices Francia and Miss Ramos Janine to be discussed the assigned topic, Lesson 15, The Rule of the Youth. Okay, so first we have lesson outcomes. So at the end of the lesson, the students should be able to 1. Compare the various types of youth Rizal had to deal with. 2. Identify the qualities of youth. And 3. Relate how youth is instrumental in nation building. Okay, we have here this quote of Jose Rizal. So, the youth is the hope of our future. So what does that mean? So, in my own insight from the quote of Jose Rizal is we are the one who make our own story, our own page in life. We are born to become professional. We are the assets of the country. We are born to be victorious. We are born to be loved and respected. Young people are born to be builder, a conqueror. Our nation needs us. Our nation needs youth that is physically, mentally, and spiritually strong. Youth that accept failures and discouragements in life, but still standing straight and continue fighting the battle. Face the challenge of the world with a smile on the face. Youth that has a capability to go on through thick and thin. The nation needs the ability and capability of how strong we are. Okay, so to all the youth, we are fearfully and wonderfully made, so we should make ourselves strong and healthy. Setting our hope to the one who created us makes us more unshakable. Because God's words is clear. Happy are the youth whose hope in the Lord. So, we are the one who will make our country richer. We are the one who will make others successful too. One day as we go on in our lives, we the youth will be the one who will stand for the society, becomes a leader of the nation. An instrument that will help the other young people to walk on the right path. That's why we should study more and put our trust on the Lord, because education is a must and His word is our weapon. So we need to take a step that our nations will become successful and we enjoy the life we have. So youth is really the hope of the nation. So always remember this. Don't follow the trend, but be the trend. Okay, now let's proceed. So what is youth? So youth is a period of human lifespan between the age of 12 and 18 years. So the transition between childhood and adulthood. Other words of youth include teenager, adolescence, early youth age of 12 to 14 years, middle youth age of 15 to 16 years, and late youth age of 17 to 18 years. So, youth is the time of life when one is young. The word youth can also mean the time between childhood and adulthood, but it can also refer to one's peak in terms of health or the period of the life known as being a young adult. Okay, so youth is also defined as the appearance, freshness, vigor, spirit, etc. Characteristic of one who is young. Its definition of a specific age range varies, as youth is not defined chronologically. So if you are wondering what is chronologically, so chronology is a part of periodization. It is also a part of disciplines of history including earth history, the earth science, and the study of geologic scales. Okay, chronologically as a stage that can be tied to specific age range, nor can its end point be linked to specific activities such as taking unpaid work or having sexual relations. So youth is an experience that may shape an individual level of dependency, which can mark in various ways according to different cultural perspectives. Personal experience is marked by an individual's cultural norms or traditions, while a youth level of dependency means the extent to which they still rely on their family emotionally and economically. So, what is the role of the youth in the society? So, the rule of the youth is simply to renew, refresh, and maintain. Youth have a role to renew and refresh the current status of our society, including leadership, innovations, skills, etc. So a youth is any person between the age of 15 years and 30 years, regardless of the gender. Unfortunately, the youth are the backbone of the society and hence they determine the future of any given society. This is because all other age groups, the kids, teenagers, middle ages, and senior citizens rely on the youth and expect a lot from them. This makes the youth to be an important age group in both today's society and the future society than others age groups. Therefore, due to the high dependence on youth in the society, we the youth have a role to play because the future of our families, communities, and the country lies on our hands. So youth are expected to advance the current technology, education, politics, peace of the country. On the other hand, youths have also to maintain the culture of our culture, all good values and the society's development project, etc. Okay, we come now to the importance of the youth. So what is the importance of youth? Youth can play an important role in the development of the society. Pakistan currently is the largest generations of young people ever recorded in its history, as 64% of the total population was below the age of 30 and 29% between the age of 18 to 30 years. So this is the important segments of the society, and youth can play a vital role in the development of the country. But this young and able workforce is not being given their chance to shine. Unfortunately, there is a lack of opportunities, professional training, institutes awareness for youth is on the country. Educated youth is unemployed. They are unable to participate in the country development because there is no quality education and textbook, policies, and curriculum differ across the country. There is no proper training institutes in the country where students can get professional training for their career. So youth is now becoming a depressed segment of the society. There are degrees but no jobs. There are university but no professional education. There are schools but different education system between elite and poor. There is a government but not a proper policy as to how they can solve these issues. Government should realize the situations and take quick measure to save the futures of the nations. Otherwise, situation may make the youth choose more destructive paths that will be detrimental to our society. Okay, let's come now to what are the responsibility of youth. So youth has a very important role to play for the society. For that, we need to know why youth are so special. It is so because they are young, full of energy and educated with rationality as their ultimate belief. And now let's talk about their role in the society. So first we have reproduce, second protection, and lastly growth. So what is reproduce mean? So reproduce is a reproduction. Here does not mean increasing the population, but it means that they fulfill the position left by the elder, like son takes up the position of father in a company. Okay, so let's proceed to protection. So youth are expected to protect their culture and tradition while at the same time makes it better and embrace changes in the society. For instance, it is the youth only who become a part of the political movement for a major changes in a country. They becomes a part of the armed forces too to safeguard the freedom of people and so on. So next is growth. The growth of the country in all the spheres like social, political, and economic spheres mostly depends on the youth only. They with a fresh energy can perform better and ensure the growth of society. So there are many other groups of youth in the society. They are like the leading character of a movie. Youth are also need to take care of all ones who are now going to be dependent. Okay, so I know this is tackled before, but allow me to give you some insights about Jose Rizal. So who is Jose Rizal? So Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda, in short Jose Rizal, was a Filipino nationalist writer and polymath. Again, polymath is a learned individual who is intelligent in numerous subjects. For example, Rizal was a sculptor, a painter, and an innovator. Polymath active at the end of the Spanish colonial period of the Philippines. He is considered a national hero of the Philippines. So an ophthalmologist by profession, Rizal became a writer and a key member of the Filipino propaganda movement, which advocated political reforms for the colony under Spain. Okay, so he was executed by the Spanish colonial government for the crime of rebellion after the Philippine Revolution broke out. It was inspired by his writing, though he was not actively involved in its planning or conduct. He ultimately approved of its goals, which eventually resulted in Philippine independence. Okay, so Rizal is widely considered of the greatest heroes of the Philippines and has been recommended to be honored by an official empaneled National Heroes Committee. However, no law, executive order, or proclamations has been enacted or issued officially proclaiming any Filipino historical figure as a national hero. So, he wrote the novels No Le Me Tangere in 1887 and El Filibusterismo in 1891, which together are taken as a national epic in addition to numerous poems and essays. Okay, so people in Rizal generations believed that they had the means and resources to travel, study abroad, and meet different people. So a famous saying goes, every generation believes it is greater than the one before it. So the generations of Rizal was not exempted from this as well. Little did they know that their generations would become instrumental in the reforms and revolutions at the end of the 19th century. They were old enough to have seen or indirectly learned about the martyrdom of the three priests, the Father Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora. So the rule of the youth is finding out their place in society and undeniable instrumental in the formations of the nations as they grapple with their identities in the midst of numerous distractions they face. Okay, so this lesson looks into the youthful stage of Rizal and follows the development of how he devised the ideal image of the hope of the motherland. So we come now to exploration, so connecting world changers with the youth. So the most rebellious and creative years are during youth, yet a majority of world history is closely associated with the contributions of the youth because of their dedications to a cause. So from our own Philippine history, try to think and identify the names of the individuals who become noted for their contributions to society even while they were still in their early 20s. So, in Europe, where they pursued greater studies, Rizal and his compatriots indulged in learning and a little pressure from time to time. So, the primary reasons of being there was to learn what Europe had to offer. So, his stays in that continent was no bed of roses, the cost of living was high, and his own family, being in turmoil over land dispute, had difficulty sending him money. Rizal was not only in Europe to write letters to foreign friends and attend parties, he was there to study and eventually campaign for reforms. Rizal traveled to different places like Europe, Asia, and America for various reasons. One of the primary reasons was to further his education and gain knowledge about different cultures and societies. So, from the various fields of art, science, medicine, engineering, and law, they never forgot and indulged in different pleasures such as women, operas, parties, and exposition. So the convivialities of youth, where parents' hope rested upon, were tested when it came to their rather conceived independence. So the word convivialities means the enjoyment of festive society, festivity, and applied to people convivial spirit or disposition. So he occupied himself with his writing studies and even to a point of organization building. He thirsted for learning and his hunger to align himself with like-minded individuals made him to stay focused on the goal. So, Jose Rizal writing transformed his stature from a writer and propagandist against social and religious injustice of Spanish rule in the Philippines that made him into a national hero. Highly intellectual gifted, he came from a well-to-do family that valued education. He was the only siblings to go Spain for studies. There is so much was sacrificed to get him to achieve. So for Rizal, the mission of education is to elevate the country to be the highest set of glory and to develop the people's mentality, since education is the foundation of society and a prerequisite for social progress. Rizal claimed that only through education could the country be saved from domination. So that would be all. Thank you for listening, and to continue the discussion, may I call on Miss Francia Felices.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Francia Felices, and I'm the next reporter. In the last chapter of his second novel, El Filibusterismo, Rizal had a message to a specific group of people who held the key to the nation's future. It was from the lips of an old hermit of a priest, Padre Florentino, that Rizal evoked his longing for a generation that would open its midst to the realities of society. Sabi dito, ibig sabihin po ay mula daw po sa labi ni Padre Florentino, napukaw ni Rizal ang kanyang pananabik sa isang henerasyong magbubukas ng mga isipan nito sa realidad ng lipunan. Next. Padre Florentino cried out with the following lines. Where are the youth who will concentrate their golden hours, their illusions, and enthusiasm for the welfare of their country? Where are they who will generously shed their blood to wash away so much shame, so much crime, so much abomination? Pure and spotless the victim has to be for the Holocaust to be acceptable. Where are you, youth, who will incarnate in yourselves the vegan of life that has fled from our veins, the purity of ideas that have been soiled in our minds, and the fire of enthusiasm that has been extinguished in our hearts? We wait for you, O youth, come for we wait you. Ibig sabihin po dito ay tinatanong ni Padre Florentino kung saan ang mga kabataan na maglalaan ng kanilang ginintuang oras, ilusyon at sigasig para sa kapakanan ng kanilang lipunan. Rizal, immortalized in his novels, spoke to a generation of Filipinos to carry on the task of fulfilling their duty of improving the nation from their forebears. These standards of the youth as being pure and noble were for something worthy of the country. Sabi naman dito, si Rizal na walang kamatayan sa kanyang mga nobela ay nakipag-usap sa isang henerasyon ng mga Pilipino upang isagawa ang gawain ng pagtupad sa kanilang mga ninuno. Ang kanyang mga pamantayan sa kabataan bilang dalisay at marangal ay para sa isang bagay na karapat-dapat sa bansa. Every minute of their waking hour must be deliberate, aiming for something greater than. They must not look at themselves with a sense of entitlement, but rather with deep regard for others. Dito naman, hindi dapat daw nila tingnan ang kanilang sarili nang may pakiramdam ng karapatan, ngunit sa halip ay may malalim na pagtingin sa iba. As they look upon the state of their community, society, and nation, they see themselves as a contributor to endless mayhem or a world changer, much like what Rizal envisioned them to be. For more than 3 centuries, Spain dominated the Philippines, producing subjects and their likeness. Rizal wanted to break free from that mindset. Next, as Filipinos living in a democratic and sovereign nation, now the youth experience and enjoys what Rizal did not. Bilang mga Pilipinong nabubuhay sa isang demokratiko at soberanong bansa ngayon, nararanasan at tinatamasa ng mga kabataan ang mga hindi naranasan ni Rizal. Next, they are now benefiting from the struggle of their forebears and each must continue to deliver advancements for the nation. Dito naman, nakikinabang na sila ngayon sa pakikibaka ng kanilang ninuno at ang bawat isa sa dapat magpatuloy sa paghatid ng pagsulong para sa bansa. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Janine Barbaramos and I have prepared question have to answer. And so I can know if you listen to our lesson today. So before we start, the question is, what did we study again today? Anyone? Okay, very good. It's all about lesson 15, the role of the youth. Okay, let's start to the question number 1. Number 1. What did Jose Rizal say for the youth? Very good. The youth is hope of our future. Number 2. What is youth? Very good. The transition between childhood and adulthood. The period of the human lifespan between the ages of 12 and 18 years old. And the other words for youth include teenagers and adolescents. Every youth aged 12 to 14 years, middle youth aged 15 to 16 years, late youth aged 17 to 18 years. And number 3, what is the role of the youth in the society? Very good. To renew, refresh, and maintain, youth have a role to renew and refresh the current status of our society, including leadership and innovation. For the number 4 and 6, give the 3 role of the youth in this society. Very good. To reproduce, protection, and growth. Number 8. What is the importance of the youth? Very good. Youth can play an important role in the development of the society. And for number 9. For more than 3 centuries, what country dominated the Philippines? Very good. The Spain. That's all. Thank you for answering to my questions.
Thank you.